Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Had some difficulties with my computer not letting me connect to my headset for some weird reason today. I think most likely it was the cell phone was picking up the headset instead. So disable Bluetooth on the cell phone, and hey, guess what? Windows is like, hey, I can use you now. Let's see who we got today. Hey, Andrew. Hello, Beverly. Hey, Michael. And Bendel Child. Hello. Hey, Brian. Welcome, everyone. Hey, yard limit. We'll just give it another minute here and we'll go ahead and get started. Again, I apologize for being delayed here. And yeah, Penetrator, you're kind of right. The kids were starting to misbehave right before 4:15 my time. But what can you say? When twins get out of hand, they get out of hand. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. Looks like we have some pretty good amount of viewers today, which is excellent. The number keeps growing, which is good. Um, So, first off, before we get started, I just want to take a moment of silence and with the tragedy that happened um, in Benson this morning. Um, an eastbound intermodal train, intermodal train hit a pedestrian at Airport Road. Um, and so, that, you want to take a moment of silence for that incident this morning. Okay. And as that was a pretty tragic accident from my understanding. Not too sure not on the details yet, but we do have the audio file if it's requested or however. But the train crew themselves did an excellent job. When they were going by the town, they were blowing their horns like they're supposed to, and they called out emergency right away. So when they saw what was in front of them. So hello, Justin. All right, we'll go ahead and go move on to our updates for today. Today's most going to be quick updates and any kind of FAQ, any kind of questions and answers we could do. We'll go ahead and go through that. Um, so what we got here on the dashboard, we looks like we have a slower westbound going up the grade there, Benson. Um, nothing else. So we had a few trains right when we started, and then they kind of I was going away when we started our broadcast. Anyways, first off, was on the phone with our IT contact in Needles about an hour before this call, and they got everything wired up. They're just now waiting for the bucket truck to get there. They figured they figured it's just a little too dangerous to be kind of hanging on the side of the pillars on that two-story on the building there at the motel. So they're waiting for the electrical department utilities to come out with their bucket, and then they're going to go up there and mount the cameras, and then we will start going through their phases of testing, and then going for the private view and then the public view right afterwards. So we wanted to the IT guy I talked to this afternoon. He hello BNSF. He mentioned um, he's got everything planned. He's ready for the truck now, so he can go out there and get that cameras mounted. Um, they also are going to be mounting the VHF antenna, so we'll have a good radio frequency there. for the radio feed that's integrated, as you know, with our cameras. Um, Everything else is in place. Um, just wait. Now just wait for that bucket truck to get there. So if to get the bucket truck sooner, great. His goal is to have that bucket truck by no later than next week, but he's hoping to get it sooner. Depending on what they're doing with the, he says they're doing some kind of wiring on some kind of poles outside of the area, so I think they're just waiting for that. Moving on to, let's see, Wilcox. Our Wilcox East camera decided it didn't want to. It had a nice little dust devil go through. So maybe some birds went through it. I'm not just sure all the whole details. Sounded like someone was plucking at it, or plucking the camera, or plucking something. If you're familiar watching Wilcox, they always have a lot of birds there. Wilcox East camera, we're offline. We did have one of our viewers actually went over there that's in Wilcox and got some snapshots for us of what's going on. The camera's there, looks fine. Camera's out of the elements because it's under the roof. But it looks like what happened was, yeah, those birds. Yeah, you got that right, Michael. Those the there were about three cable ties that were connecting the Ethernet cable that went up to the camera. Well, that cable tie, when we were there a couple weekends ago, checking out, cleaning the lens on the PTZ that I made overspray because of the painters decided to, not cover it really well. And, just spray paint over the lens, which at least we were able to get off, fingernail polish remover, and lucky enough it's not plastic, they're actually glass lenses. So we're able to get everything off, so the camera looks pretty good now, Wilcox. But we figured out that when we lived over there at the east camera, we can't reach the camera anymore on the east side, nor can we reach the antenna. When Wilcox redid their building, their city hall, with the painting and the windows, they removed one window that opened up to what's called it was like a bigger window. It was an open. It actually was a window that opened up. Hey, Mr. Olin. And there was a little balcony that you could crawl in. Now, me, I can't crawl through the window, but Christy can. If you've seen Christy on some of her feeds where she's waved at the camera when we're all there as a family or whatever. So I know some of met Christy. She's able to fit through that window. We can't do that anymore because they removed the balcony when they put a permanent window in, so there's no way of opening it anymore. So now the camera's just kind of sitting up there. We can't get to it. You need probably a 20-foot extension ladder if you want to get to it. Nor can we get to the antenna. It looks like our cable came off the antenna too. Well, I got a trouble ticket in with the city, so they could bring their truck out there and fix the camera. It looks like when the cable ties came undone. Well, now that Ethernet cord is being pulled, and that's probably what I bet you the connection's getting loose, and that's why it lost connection all of a sudden, especially after the big dirt devil that went through right beforehand. Hoping to hear back. I tried calling the city, never heard back from them, so that's why I just put a trouble ticket in. So that's where we're at with Wilcox. Hopefully they get with us soon, so we get that camera back online. Let's see, because I got a couple trains, one at the port at Tucson, and we have a fast eastbound there over at Benson. One thing you may have noticed, this is actually to help out with the cameras at Wilcox and Benson and Tacna. You may have noticed that the title of the camera feed is on the right hand side and the clock is on the left hand side. Try it out. Yeah, there we go, Pinocchio. Yep, and I'll decoy. That may work, but I tell you, I don't know if you've been to the Wilcox. You probably haven't seen the Wilcox building. You may have seen them in the camera, but they got plenty of those little bird. I don't know what you call them, spikes, whatever they are. That's on the roof. I mean, they got them things everywhere. I mean, they are. I'm actually shocked that the PTZ camera was still working, because guess what? Um, they spikes that they put on the little rafters that keep the birds from going on there. Well, let's just say when they um, were doing the work, they moved our PTZ camera cable, and then he just put it on top of a whole stack of those things. So it's like here's this Ethernet cable going through all these little spikes that are on the ground. But lucky enough, it didn't hit anything. Um, Cable was pretty thick, so I didn't see any damage to the cable, which was lucky. But anyways, speaking of bird deterrence, let's see, Gallup. There's a war bonnet. Gallup right now. Anyways, back to what I was talking about on Wilcox and Benson and Techno. The clock the clock that you're seeing in the top left corner is the actual clock from the camera itself. Um, um, that that's a pretty good idea if you wonder if there's a camera that's maybe a couple hours behind, or is it the YouTube feed? Um, that's one way to help for us to know is what the clock says on it from the camera. So if we see that the camera is behind, well, look at the clock. Well, yeah, the clock shows it's wrong. So we know what we have to troubleshoot to make it, to fix it quicker than what we have been in the past. We're just testing this out at Wilcox and Benson and Techno. Most likely we'll move up to the other ones and later, but we're gonna go through with this status for those cameras for now, just as a test to see how well it works. Let's see. On another note, let's see. Trying to think. Since we talked about needles, talked about Wilcox. The Jackrabbit Trading Post, as everyone knows, Jackrabbit Trading Post is out there on the Gallup sub of the BNSF. Between Holbrook, Winslow, pretty close to a town called Joseph City. Jackrabbit, we're looking to be online by, I'm going to say, by this weekend. As I mentioned, the camera's going to be mounted on the pole as high as it could go. And they're going to have, from my understanding, they're going to have some help doing mounting it on that pole. They're looking at doing it this weekend. So we'll be looking for Jackrabbit here coming online soon. If you're ever on the I-40 here in Arizona, going between Winslow and Holbrook, they're right there off Jackrabbit Road. Big here it is sign. Definitely take stop by, say hi to them. They're good. They're nice folks. Really cool little Route 66. You'd be like little memorial, memorabilia or whatever. Pretty neat stuff over there. I don't know if anyone's been to the Jackrabbit Trade Post, but definitely you want to stop by on your travels if you're on the 40 out here in Arizona. Small little business. It's just a small business, family business. They've been there, I think, since, I think the current owner, her grandmother, I think, was the actual original starter, I think it was. So, definitely stop by there. A couple other things that we've had a few emails on. Techno is back open for business. As everyone knows, they were offline. They weren't offline. We were allowed to keep our camera going, same with our radio feed and ATCS. They are back in business as of today, actually. So you may start seeing all their customers again. A lot of white, you get a lot of trucks out there at Tacna. Heat's already there. They already in high in the mid 90s. I think they were like 96 yesterday or a couple days ago. So, but yeah, Tacna is back open for business. Let's see. Going on to a couple Amtrak things that are going on here. So Winslow, we are still waiting here back on the approval about mounting the camera at Winslow onto the pole to get it away before those trees start blooming. Because we know what happens when those desert, I think they're called desert willows, they start blooming. The camera gets kind of a good view of the trees there, and then everything else kind of gets blocked. But Christy's been working on with Amtrak's management, trying to get that all taken care of. We can move the camera out of that section. As I said, as when we put it in, that was the only spot we were able to put it. The other spot we were actually going to put it, well, the building itself is so old that when you try putting there's certain parts that you try drilling in, and the side of it just comes right off the wall. So, and same with the wood. We had to be careful what wood beam we had used, because some of the wood beams are, since that building's been built. So hopefully this temporary position for the camera at Winslow will eventually go to the pole, and we'll be out of the garden there, the little garden that the La Posada has. And that's great. We'd be like, hey, because they are, the flower, the blooms very nice, but well, I want to see some trains too, not just the blooms. Um, let's see, Benson. Our host in Benson actually reached out to Amtrak. Um, he was going to email the Amtrak coordinator on getting when they're going to start the construction of the new platform. I have not got a date yet, but he's hoping it's very soon. The city's hoping they've been waiting. They want to get it back there behind the visitor center where it belongs, and get away from that non-ADA compliant shed, AM shed they call it, or I guess everyone calls it, in the corner there. So that hopefully we have a date, and then we will let everyone know a date when the construction starts. At this time, there's no privacy concerns in regards to that. Our team knows not to zoom in on the workers, because then they may ask us to block some of the areas. So we're going to go ahead and make sure everyone knows on our team not to zoom in on the employees or the workers when they start the platform building. Hey, crazy! I was wondering where you've been. Let's see. So let's see. That's about Benson, and then we have, let's see, a couple other things going on. We're waiting on the final, the IT, still from IT from Albuquerque to come back to us about their line and their internet service, their source, and then the mounting spot. So we're still kind of waiting on them. We're gonna probably reach out to them tomorrow. Sometimes Albuquerque's is a little. Sometimes they don't respond right away. You have to go back and respond back to them. So that's for Albuquerque. Hopefully we hear something by the end of the week. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's about it for now. Yeah, Justin, I did see your comment about New Mexico there. Yeah, we've actually been looking for spots in New Mexico on in the different areas, but it's just out in that area, and along in what do you call it? Along the UP out there too. It's just like there's like nothing out there. It's just like just trying to find something in the southern New Mexico, it's hard to find anything along the rail lines. You see the 10, you see, different areas there, but it's like, there's like nothing out there that's close enough to the tracks to get signal. We are working on a site in Lordsburg, um, which kind of has a site, an eastern, I think it's an eastern view, where, I forgot what's the short line that comes there. It's called Arizona Eastern, I believe, that interchanges and switches there next to the UP. I know we have that we're looking into. We have a spot in mind there, but we haven't had a firm commitment on that one yet. So let's see, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yes, they got the camera online. It's actually, he's finally got it online. He's finally got a tournament and the cable fixed. I think he just had a new cable. I think he's trying it out. But he's currently, I see the camera. But we're not streaming it yet as it's in their basement. So I think it's a basement. It's where all their networking connectivity goes. So I'm hoping we'll be going back online soon with the Santa Fe up north, there in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So keep our fingers crossed. I saw the camera show online. I believe it came online Friday, and I seen where it's been moved around a few times. Looks like the last thing he's got to do is just mount it. But hopefully he gets the host there gets it up soon so we get that going. So let's see. Hey Pete, let's see. Rock shop on the tracks in Lewisburg. It must not be on Google Maps, but it was never not found, not ran any the rock shop out there, but or I could have just overlooked it. So Panhandle, Texas. Let's see. Panhandle, Texas. Okay, I know that's that. Okay. I think we have yeah, Canyon didn't go through, but we do have there's a route, oh, what's it called, one of those not a car shop, but like what's it called, like one of those I forget what it's called, but it's something like some kind of museum that's right next to the tracks, going south, I think in that area from Amarillo, I think. I forget what it's called, but they have a lot of Route 66 and stuff on their website, and also something about Santa Fe. So we have I think I'll to them as we speak, waiting to hear back from them. Ross, yes. That is, yeah, your limit. That's our site, the site that grabs those, which is in Albuquerque. Um, they had um, the host in Albuquerque had an 18-hour power outage a while back, and he actually picks up some of that area along with our hosts in near Balin. Um, and So if one goes down, the other one's kind of picking up. They kind of like offset each other. Well, that site's been offline since that big power outage out there in Albuquerque. We haven't had a chance to go out there and investigate the issue yet. We do plan on going there, but just not there as of yet. I believe, Michael, it's I'll have to look, but I think it's south of Amarillo. I want to say it's south of Amarillo. I can't remember. It's wherever the tracks go north and south, and it's next to a highway. I think it's like next to a highway or something. I'll have to go back and look. I don't have the actual location offhand. Right, and that's correct, Justin. We are aware of that. And Santa Fe actually is there's a realtor that actually had a camera there. That's had the camera there for a long time. And um, they have the host there worked with Christie, and we brought they allowed us to bring their camera on our channel to get the northern end of the Santa Fe, Santa Fe, New Mexico Rail Runner. And so the camera's been good, and then he said he had some water damage that hit, which is why the camera's been offline, I believe, since February. And he's been working on it. He got a new camera. He thought it was a camera, then he realized when he plugged it in, it still didn't work. So now it looks like he believes it was he has to redo the wire, terminate on both ends, um, which it looks like is what he's just finally got to. That's why I can see the camera down down in their networking room. I'm just waiting to see when he's going to have a chance to mount it. He's the only IT guy that works there, and being that he's the only IT guy, he was also sick for like 2 weeks. So he got backed up on all his actual work, but he's trying to get it up as soon as he can. He's got it in his plate to do. And in Albuquerque, yeah, it's got the New Mexico Rail Runner, and I think it's got number 3 and 4. It's gonna be right there at the Rail Runner station. And it's wherever it has just been requested to have a cam there for for anyone that likes to follow the New Mexico Rail Runner. Actually, I was watching the Santa Fe one. I thought it was pretty neat how that how they go how there's no freight, but they got a pretty good system there. They're normally always on time, and they got a good system down there. It's great to actually see the sea and rail service actually passenger rail service. Just and the trains look pretty neat too. So. Tender child. Does the floodlight attack not work on motion? No, actually, the floodlight is on at all times at night. It comes on um when the sun sets. You'll notice the light comes on because when it gets to that sunset mode, it right before it triggers the light, it goes to that black and white stage. After the black and white stage is when the light, and then it goes back to color. That's when the light kicks on. Now, as you know, Jax it depends on how you're looking at it. Um, Depending on what way the camera's facing when you're for TACNA. If it's facing towards the crossing, it's not going to do much but illuminate the the numbers, and all the little reflectors that's on the train. But when it's looking west, it's closer to the track when it's looking west, and it does pretty decent. It does need to be cleaned, um, but we haven't had a chance to go out that route yet. Um, they go over there and clean that lens. So we just cleaned Wilcox not that long ago, and all the lenses need a nice little touch up. Um, so we'll have some of our hosts they're willing to do it for us, and then there's some where we just go out and do it. So we just go from there. I don't know if you watch Winslow, but Winslow's pretty clean because the host there, they have it set, I think, on the maintenance guy's schedule to go up there I think like once or twice a month and just wipe them down. So that's why Winslow kind of stays pretty clean. Um, Gallup, the host is going to do. Gallup will do that as well when the weather gets a little better and more favorable, where they can open up the windows and get to the cameras. But Tacna, we have to work with them on cleaning the lens, and then it'll look a little bit better. Also with Tacna, it's a different firmware version than the other ones, which is another thing that you may notice a difference with the night vision. The newer the firmware, the better the night vision. And I believe Tacna does not have that new firmware yet. That's the only one that's staying with the older firmware um, until we make sure that the new firmware is running smoothly. But we do that at night when we do that. So and light it depends what maybe the light was. I'll have to check and see if the light maybe turned off early. It shouldn't, but it's possible. I'll take a look. All right. Any other questions or comments before we call it a day? I've not heard anything from San Bernardino Bernard Bernardino. How's it? I don't know. Brian. I can't. I always have a hard time spelling pronouncing that one, but I've not heard anything from them yet. But we'll keep everyone posted once we hear from them. What's my favorite cam? It depends wherever the trains are at, pretty much. Nothing yet, Michael. I have not heard anything from there yet, Mike. Yes, definitely. That's how we know what's going on with Wilcox. And so now we got a trouble ticket put in, so we're just waiting to hear back from the city. I haven't heard back from them yet. A few phone calls and haven't got anything from them through phone. I don't even know. I was thinking made her on vacation for a week or something after Easter Sunday. So, but I can't get hold of them. And I haven't seen the city manager's truck where he usually parks there underneath the east camera. So I'm not too sure if they're just on vacation. Thank you, Pendle Child. But your the new RailCams upcoming, as mentioned before. If you may have missed it, that's perfectly fine. Um, is needles. We gotta, they just gotta go ahead and wait for the bucket truck to mount the cameras, and then they'll be online. And then the Jackrabbit trading post is gonna be coming online this weekend as well. So those are the two cameras that are gonna be coming online, and um, we'll test them. Anyone that's donated will get the first week access to them. And if you donate through GoFundMe, the email comes from GoFundMe with the link, so you can see that. If you donated through um, PayPal, you just have to reach out to us and let us know what you donated. If you donated for one of those two cameras, and we can go ahead and verify it. So, um, but GoFundMe is a lot easier to go through when it comes to sending those emails out. So we'll keep you posted when those two cameras go live. Yeah, we gotta. I believe we have a callback scheduled Friday. So yeah, I know they've been dealing with a lot of weather out there, so I'm not too. That's why we're kind of giving them a little bit of a break. Not too sure how bad the weather's been. I know there's been. I've heard from reading chats and all that. There's been bad weather out. I'm not sure if it's in that area, but in that state. So just kind of, we'll be reaching back out on Friday. Um, we give all our hosts at least a week before we reach out to them. We don't want to sound like we're a disturbance or being a nuisance. So we try to give space, like respect their time. They may have to go to the board or however they need to do it. So anyone else? Any other questions? All right, I don't see any other questions. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We're usually in the chat somewhere, or you can ask one of the moderators to send in an email, and we can reach us that way. So um, that's pretty much where we're at as of right now. And I want to thank everyone for joining, and thank you for spending that little extra time extra. I know we were supposed to be done at 4:40 or 45, but we're 10 minutes over. So I want to thank everyone for their time. And if you definitely have any questions or any kind of feedback, just go ahead and send us an email. Um, I'll go ahead and also sign up for our newsletter. Um, yeah, Rick. Well, we could correct that. That's okay. That's just because it's hyperlinked. So thanks everyone, and have a wonderful evening. I'll check the newsletter for you, Michael.